Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at something a bit different, maybe off the main crypto radar for some. We're focusing on the Pi network.
Yeah, it's definitely got a unique strategy. It's all about scale, accessibility,
Right.
really trying to use something everyone has, a smartphone.
Right.
But we're not just covering the 101 today. This is for the advanced pioneer, as they call them.
Exactly. If you're already mining, already hitting that button daily, this is for you. We're digging into the sources that talk strategy, how to boost your involvement, what the economic models actually look like.
And this emerging marketplace idea, the PiBazar. We've got guides, warnings, the whole package aimed at that next level of understanding.
Yeah, our mission today is really to get past how do I start? We want to break down the advanced stuff, the structure, why things like KYC are non-negotiable, and importantly, is this thing actually getting used? How is it generating real utility?
It's that shift, isn't it? From how do I get it to, okay, I have some, now what? How do I secure it, maximize it, and maybe actually use it? And to really get that, you have to grasp the core idea. It seems simple, open app, press button, but the why behind it is key. It's blockchain, yes, but they deliberately ditched proof of work.
Because it's energy hungry and, well, not everyone has a mining rig.
Precisely. Too exclusive. They wanted something ecological, something truly mobile. So it's not about processing power. It's about proving you're a real engaged human. That's been the goal since, 2019, started by some Stanford PhDs. It's basically a massive social experiment in distributed trust.
Okay, let's unpack that core mechanism then, maybe from the view of someone who's been doing it a while. You press the button, 24-hour cycle starts. It seems almost too simple. What's actually happening, and why make it that easy?
Well, the simplicity is the strategy, you see. It's not complex computation. It's essentially a daily check-in. You're signaling, yep, I'm still here, still part of the network.
So it's like presence validation.
Exactly, validating commitment. And your mining rate reflects that ongoing participation. The key thing the sources hammer home is that it's designed to be incredibly light on resources.
Right, so it doesn't drain your battery or data.
Minimal impact. That's crucial for their goal of global scale.
Mm-hmm.
No need for expensive GPUs or anything like that. It lowers the barrier to entry massively.
So, okay, participation validation, not crunching numbers, but it's still, well, it's not fully live yet, is it? The project's still in development.
That's a critical point, yeah. The sources are clear, it's still in development, but actively moving towards launching the mainnet.
The main network.
Right. And for anyone listening who's an advanced pioneer, understanding this status is vital. It helps manage expectations. The Pi you've mined, it's still technically in an accumulation phase, waiting for that final switch to the live open blockchain.
So patience is key.
Patience is absolutely key. Understanding this deliberate, maybe even slow pace is sort of the first hurdle for advanced participation.
Okay, and once you're past that initial phase, the real scaling mechanism seems to be network building. This is where you stop being just a user and start connecting people.
Yeah, that's fundamental to how they distribute Pi. It relies heavily on, viral growth, network effects. The incentive is really explicit. Your mining speed goes up when you expand your network. Bringing new people in gives you a bonus. It's designed to reward, spreading the word, active evangelism.
And the guides we looked at get specific. They talk about referral codes. Like, I think one was hrejsi.jwkk.biz. Using a code like that gives the new person a 25% speed boost right away.
Yeah, it's a strong hook, a powerful, immediate incentive to get people started and keep them engaged.
But doesn't that create a risk? If growth is based on inviting anyone and everyone, what stops someone from creating thousands of fake accounts, bots, just to farm the coin?
Exactly. That's the massive security challenge inherent in that model. And it leads straight to the countermeasure, which is probably the biggest friction point for many pioneers.
Yeah.
Identity verification.
KYC. Know your customer.
KYC, yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll see KYB mentioned too, know your business. We can get into that maybe.
Okay, so KYC first. How does that work here?
It's the gatekeeper. The network requires you pass this identity check, usually after you've been mining consistently for about 30 days.
And the goal is just prove you're real.
Just that. One real human, one account. That's the principle. If Pi ever wants to be a truly decentralized global thing, the people holding it need to be real, unique individuals, not bots, not duplicates.
So it's a deliberate hurdle.
Oh, absolutely. It adds friction, costs time and effort, but it's meant to ensure the quality of the network and the scarcity of the coin tied to real people.
And there's a serious warning tied to this, something that could really trip people up if they weren't paying attention during sign-up.
Yes, this is crucial. You must register using your real legal name, the one on your ID. right from the very beginning.
Why is that so critical?
Because if you use a nickname or a fake name or anything you can't later prove with official documents during the KYC process, there's a penalty.
A penalty, like what?
A steep one. The guides warn you could lose 20%, a fifth, of all the pie you've mined up to that point.
Wow. Okay, that's serious.
It is. It shows they're absolutely serious about verified identity.
Yeah.
They're basically saying, don't bother trying to game the system with fake accounts. It's a waste of your time. It forces this idea of a verified human economy from the ground up.
Okay, that makes sense. And you mentioned KYB Know Your Business. Why is that relevant here?
Well, think longer term. Think about that PiBazar we mentioned. It's not just individuals sending pie to each other. The vision includes businesses accepting pie.
Like a shop or a service provider.
Exactly. Maybe a car dealer, like in the Bazaar examples, or someone offering professional services. If you're dealing in high-value transactions using Pi, the network needs some way to verify they are legitimate too. That's where KYB comes in. It's about verifying the entity, not just the person.
So moving from checking the customer to checking the seller or provider.
Yeah, it's a necessary step if you want to scale up to real commercial use and build trust in those larger transactions.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit. Say you're a pioneer, you've done the 30 days, you've passed KYC, you're verified, your name is correct. Now what? How do you actively boost that mining rate beyond just inviting new people? What are the levers for, like, serious participation? Moving from just being there to actually contributing.
Right, this is where the advanced part really kicks in. It's about moving beyond just proving presence to actively helping secure the network and showing long-term belief in it. There are maybe three main ways to think about this.
Okay.
There's the technical security aspect, there's contributing infrastructure, and then there's showing economic commitment.
Let's start with security. Security circles. I've heard that term, but it sounds a bit like just adding your friends.
It sounds like it, but it's actually much more technical under the hood. It ties directly into Pi's consensus mechanism. They use something based on the Stellar Consensus Protocol, SCP.
Not proof of work, like Bitcoin.
No, completely different. SCP is about reaching agreement or consensus on which transactions are valid. It's fast and efficient, but it relies on nodes trusting sets of other nodes. Your security circle is your personal contribution to that trust graph.
So you add people you genuinely trust.
Yes, trusted individuals.
Yeah.
Because the consensus needs you to vouch for others, saying, I trust these people not to try and cheat the network. By building a strong circle of reliable pioneers, you're directly enhancing the network's ability to agree on transactions securely.
And the network rewards you for that contribution.
Exactly. You get a direct, measurable boost to your mining speed. It's clever, really. It turns social validation, social capital, into network security.
So adding someone unreliable or potentially malicious to your circle isn't just a bad idea socially. It could actually hurt the network's function.
Precisely. The integrity is distributed across these layers of trusted relationships. It replaces needing massive computing power with needing verified, trustworthy human connections.
Okay, interesting. What's the second lever? You said infrastructure.
Right. Running a node. This is a much bigger commitment than just using the mobile app.
Okay, what does that involve?
It means running Pi software on a computer, dedicating processing power, storage, and importantly, a stable internet connection. These nodes are the ones actually doing the work of validating transactions and securing the mainnet.
So like traditional blockchain nodes.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
The sources even mention the term uzli, which I believe is Czech or Slavic for nodes. It shows communities globally are getting into the technical side. Running an uzli or node definitely requires more technical know-how than just tapping a button. You need to understand how it works.
That sounds like a significant step up in commitment. Does it come with a significant reward?
It does, yes. Node operators get a substantial increase in their mining rate. They're providing a critical service, decentralization, transaction validation. It's how the network separates the casual user from the really committed technical backbone.
Makes sense. And the third strategy, economic commitment and lockups.
Yes, lockups. This is really about the long-term vision and trying to manage the token's supply and stability. If you think about how many crypto projects launch and immediately get hit by massive sell-offs. The classic pump and dump. Right. Lockups are designed to counter that. We saw sources mentioning reminders going out about lockups. It's clearly a key part of their strategy.
So how do they work?
Pioneers are given the option, and strongly incentivized, to lock up a portion of their mined Pi.
Mm-hmm.
Committed to stay put for a fixed period, maybe 6 months, a year, 3 years.
And the incentive is?
Twofold, really. For the pioneer locking up, they get a significant boost to their current mining rate. The longer you lock up and the more you lock up, the bigger the boost. It rewards patience and long-term belief.
And for the network as a whole.
It takes that pie out of liquid circulation, immediately reduces the supply that could potentially be sold on day one of mainnet launch. It creates scarcity, signals commitment to future value, and tries to build stability. It's very much about fostering a currency for transactions, not just speculation.
So, security circles, nodes, lockups. These are the core mechanics for boosting your rate as an advanced user. But the sources also talk a lot about community engagement.
Absolutely. Being an advanced pioneer isn't just about tweaking your own settings. It's about being part of the collective. The guides really push using the internal channels, PiChat, PiForums.
So what purpose?
Discussing ideas, sharing what works, helping troubleshoot, especially helping newer pioneers navigate things like KYC or maybe setting up a node if they're trying that. It's about knowledge sharing in a huge distributed community.
Keeping everyone informed.
Yeah, and staying informed yourself by following official announcements.
Yeah.
But also, for those who really want to get it, the recommendation is clear. Read the Pi white paper.
Go back to the source document.
Exactly.
All right.
Understand the why. The technical design, the long-term vision, that's what turns you from just a user into a real stakeholder who understands where this is potentially headed, like towards a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization for future governance.
Okay. This brings us to maybe the most critical part. We've talked mining, securing, boosting. But how does this Pi actually get used? How does it go from being a number in an app to having real-world value or utility?
Yeah, the million-dollar question, or perhaps the million Pi question. This transition from collecting to using is where so many projects stumble. The sources show Pi is tackling this on a few fronts. First, there's the push for Pi apps.
Applications built on the network.
Exactly. Apps designed specifically to use Pi as their internal currency. That creates built-in demand, a reason to hold and spend Pi within its own ecosystem.
Which feeds into the broader idea of the Pi ecosystem itself.
Right. Encouraging users, pioneers, to think entrepreneurially. How can you use Pi? Can you offer goods, services? It's about fostering that internal economy.
But isn't Pi also traded on some regular crypto exchanges?
It is, yes. Some sources track that activity, like the EV Obshudu PIUSDT, that's the live PIUSDT trading volume, probably on an exchange like Gate.io. So external market trading exists.
But the focus seems internal.
Very much so. Success seems defined more by building that internal utility, making Pi useful between pioneers rather than just relying on external market speculation.
And the prime example of that internal utility seems to be this PiBazar. Tell us about that.
The PiBazar is fascinating. It's described as the first community bazaar in Europe, a place where pioneers are directly trading goods and services using Pi. It makes the whole concept much more tangible.
It moves it from abstract crypto to actual commerce.
Exactly. It shows the community is actively trying to establish a transactional value for Pi, separate from whatever the external exchanges might say on any given day.
And the range of stuff being traded, it's kind of staggering looking at the list. It's not just small trinkets.
No, it really speaks to the ambition here. The categories show they're trying to make it useful for almost anything. You've got automoto. Think about that. People potentially listing used cars or motorcycles for Pi.
Wow. Okay.
Then everyday stuff, home garden sport,
Yeah.
and Jessica Hockey kids' toys. So regular consumer goods.
What about tech?
Yep. Electro PC mobiles. Not just phones or computers, but also accessories covers, cases, screen protectors, that sort of thing. Plus cosmetics, drugstore items, small, regular purchases.
But the thing that really stood out to me was the services category.
That's huge, isn't it? Services work. This means people are offering their skills, their labor, their professional time directly in exchange for Pi. When you can buy someone's work with a currency, that's a major sign of utility.
Definitely. What else? There's
Jewelry, watches, valuables, clothing, and then it gets into more sensitive areas too.
How so?
The list includes alcohol, cigarettes, 18+ free finances. That indicates direct peer-to-peer transactions, even for regulated goods. It highlights the decentralized nature, maybe the challenges of oversight too. And finally, a catch-all Statney other category.
Okay, so people are trading everything from car parts to professional skills to clothes. But how are they deciding the price? If it's decentralized, is there an agreed value for Pi within this bazaar?
That's a really important point the advanced guides touch upon. While the external exchange price might bounce around wildly, within the community, especially in marketplaces like the bazaar, there seems to be an effort to establish what they call a global consensus price, or GCP.
GCP.
Yeah. It's not strictly tied to external speculation, but more based on the perceived value of the goods and services being traded internally. If someone successfully sells a car for, say, 1,000 pi, they've implicitly agreed on a functional value for pi in that transaction. That reinforces those tags we see, like pay with pi or nakapsapi, buy with pi.
But trading internationally, peer-to-peer, especially high-value or regulated items, what about disputes? If I buy something using Pi on the bazaar and it's faulty or doesn't arrive, is there any recourse?
That is probably the major challenge for this stage of development. Right now, in many decentralized systems, trust is paramount. That's why those security circles, based on trust, are so fundamental.
But trust only goes so far, especially with strangers online.
Exactly. For a truly mature marketplace, especially a global one, they'll absolutely need more robust systems.
Yeah.
Think escrow services, dispute resolution, perhaps even AI-powered moderation or arbitration down the line. This loops back to KYB too.
Know your business.
Yeah. If a business is offering services for Pi, having some verified identity or reputation system that can be held accountable becomes crucial for building widespread confidence beyond just individual trust.
Okay, so there's real activity, but also real challenges. Given this complexity, the bazaar, the lockups, the KYC hurdles, what are the big warnings pioneers need to keep in mind, and where is the project actually heading long term?
Right. Managing the risks and understanding the roadmap are key. Yeah. The first big message from the sources is patience.
Again, with the patience.
The constant refrain, they're actively fighting that crypto get-rich-quick mentality. Pioneers are told repeatedly, this is evolving, it's under development, and value, real sustainable value, will take time to build. It's about utility first, price later. That slow burn is intentional.
And security. What are the big red flags?
The warnings here are stark. Number one, absolutely non-negotiable, never share your wallet recovery phrase. Ever. With anyone. For any reason.
Because if you lose that, or it's stolen,
your Pi is gone, instantly, irrevocably. That's standard crypto security, but they hammer it home. Also, extreme caution about scams.
like what kind?
Fake social media pages are a big one. Mentioned fraudulent Facebook groups, Twitter accounts promising giveaways or special access, phishing attempts trying to get your login details or recovery phrase. Basic online hygiene, but critical in this space.
And even with the internal market focus, pioneers still need to be aware of general crypto risks.
Definitely. While Pi aims for internal value, it doesn't exist in a vacuum. The wider crypto market is volatile. Pioneers need to understand that prices can swing wildly. One source noted a recent, maybe small 1.6% drop, but it illustrates the point. Risk is inherent. And importantly, none of this is investment advice. Do your own research, understand the risks.
Okay, warnings noted. Now, looking forward, what's the strategy? Where's Pi heading? You mentioned AI earlier.
Yes. The Pi 2-Day 2025 initiative seems heavily focused on artificial intelligence. This looks like a major strategic push to accelerate the creation of useful apps on the platform.
How would AI help with that?
The idea seems to be that building out a whole ecosystem of useful apps takes time and a lot of developers. AI could potentially help scale that process. They're talking about launching tools like a Pi AI Studio and a Pi App Studio.
To make it easier to build Pi apps.
Exactly. Lowering the barrier for developers. Maybe AI helps with coding, maybe with testing smart contracts, maybe even thinking ahead with moderating marketplaces like the PiBazar, identifying scams or bad actors automatically. Using AI to help manage and grow the ecosystem at scale.
And they're also trying to attract human developers too, right? Through competitions.
Yes, that focus on the development community is crucial. They promote hackathons. One mentioned had prize pools up to $25,000. It's about incentivizing innovation, getting fresh eyes and talent to build the specific tools needed for a currency like this to work things like better wallets, escrow systems, identity solutions, cross-border payment tools.
Okay, last thing on the tech side. Let's quickly define some of the jargon advanced users might see in the white paper or discussions. We've mentioned Stellar, DAO, DeFi.
Right. Understanding these helps place Pi in the broader blockchain context. It's built using the Stellar Consensus Protocol, SCP, as its base. That's important because Stellar is known for being very fast and very cheap for transactions.
Which you need for a marketplace.
Absolutely. You can't run a bazaar buying small items if the transaction fee is huge or takes ages, like on Bitcoin or sometimes Ethereum. Stellar is designed for high throughput, low cost.
And DAO and DeFi.
DAO stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. That points to the long-term governance goal. Eventually, the idea is that the core team steps back and the verified pioneers themselves govern the network's future through voting mechanisms.
So community control.
Ultimately, yes. And DeFi is decentralized finance. As the Pi ecosystem matures, the vision includes building financial services on top of the Pi blockchain itself. Think lending Pi, borrowing against it, maybe earning interest, staking work. Moving beyond just payments into more complex financial tools, that's the longer-term roadmap to becoming a full financial platform.
Okay, let's try and wrap this up. Pulling it all together, this deep dive shows the Pi network is unemotional. Well, it's quite a journey for someone who gets involved beyond just the basics. It starts super simple, that daily button press, but quickly evolves into the system where your identity, your network connections, and your commitment through things like lockups directly impact your stake. And it's all driving towards creating real-world use like we see emerging in the PiBazar, where people are actually trading cars, services, everyday goods using this mobile mine coin.
Yeah, what's really striking, I think, is the underlying social architecture. They're using KYC not just for compliance, but to fundamentally tie the currency to verified humans. They're using lockups to enforce scarcity and long-term thinking. It's an attempt to engineer value based on community engagement and proven identity, trying hard to build utility from the inside out rather than just chasing speculative prices on exchanges. It really is an experiment in building a large-scale, verified digital economy.
So thinking about that economy, and specifically the PiBazar, we've seen the incredible range of things being traded already: cars, cosmetics, tech, even professional skills. Now, for you listening, considering Pi's goal of bringing crypto to the masses and the very real challenges of making peer-to-peer trade work smoothly across borders, what specific service could you realistically offer? Or what product could you trade using a currency like Pi that would genuinely help push it towards mainstream everyday usefulness? That's the question, isn't it? How do you bridge the gap from niche bazaar to global utility? That's what every advanced pioneer needs to be thinking about.